follow question with a twist. You have a production function, y is at kt to the power alpha, lt to the power 1 minus alpha. Everything is standard. Per capita output is yt, capital YT by L, and small kt, which was usually defined as k by L, is now defined as k by y. Okay, so that is the change in this question. My small kt is actually k by y. For any variable x, denote dx by dt by x dot, then per capita output growth rate is. So we need to guess this in terms of growth rate, but keeping kt as k by y. So let's try and attempt that. So let's take my yt is equal to kt to the power alpha, lt to the power 1 minus alpha. So the first task would be that since I need two things, I need lt to the power, I need yt divided by lt. So let me take lt to this side, okay, and I don't need lt on the right side because k does not have an L. So I'll take the L from here to there. So let's divide this, take this to the other side. So that will be yt, capital YT by lt to the power 1 minus half is equal to kt to the power half. Alright, now to be able to get this in per output terms, I need the power of both to be same. So for that, I need this also to be 1 minus alpha, yt. So for that I need to divide by yt to the power alpha on both sides. Okay. So what do I get? So this becomes yt 1 minus alpha upon lt 1 minus alpha is equal to at, and this becomes kt by yt upon alpha. Okay, so this becomes yt by lt is small y. So small yt to the power 1 minus alpha is equal to at, and this becomes kt by yt becomes small kt. This becomes kt to the power alpha. And now to get it in this term, I just need to take logs and differentiate it. So if I take logs, so taking logs, if I take logs on both sides, this becomes 1 minus alpha log yt is equal to log at plus alpha log kt. And now if I differentiate this with respect to time, so this becomes 1 minus alpha. So 1 by yt dy by dt will be equal to 1 by at dat by dt, and this is going to be plus alpha 1 by kt dkt by dt. Okay, so this, if I simplify, this becomes okay, let me write it here. If I simplify, this becomes 1 minus alpha y dot by y is equal to a dot by a plus alpha k dot by k. So I need to take 1 minus alpha to the other side. Y dot by y is equal to 1 by 1 minus alpha a dot by a plus alpha by 1 minus alpha k dot by k. So that seems to be the answer, and that one is option A. 7 is a GK question, which I think you should try to memorize from here. So RBI could not have come in 2016 or 1992 or 1999, so RBI had to come in 1934. Insolvency Bankruptcy Board of India had to come the last, so 2016. So now the confusion was between SEBI and IRDA. So the answer to that is that SEBI came in 1992 and IRDA came in 1999. So use this to memorize this. The answer is D.
IIT JAM 2023, question number 28. X follows a normal 0, 1. So X is a standard normal variate. Y is equal to mod X. If the probability density function of Y is FYY, then for Y positive, what will be this value? Okay. So firstly, we need to find out what is my CDF. This is basically mod X less than equal to Y. That basically means X lying between minus Y2 plus Y, or this basically means F CDF Fx Y minus Fx minus Y, where capital Fx Y is nothing but probability X less than Y. This basically represents the cumulative distribution function for the variable X. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to find out the CDF of Y the CDF of y is equal to this, right? I'll call this okay. Now we need to find out the PDF. The PDF is nothing but the derivative. The derivative, I differentiate. This is fx y. This is minus fx minus y into minus 1, because the derivative of minus y is minus 1 if I'm differentiating with respect to y. This minus minus becomes plus. This is minus minus becomes plus. Fx y plus fx minus y. Now, the standard normal variate is basically 1 by root 2 pi e to the power of minus y square by 2. Okay. Similarly, for this, it will be 1 by root 2 pi e to the power of minus y square, which is minus y square by 2. So this basically gives me root 2 by pi, because it's basically 2 by root 2 pi e to the power of minus y square by 2. This is what my PDF of y will be. So first I started off with the CDF. I got the CDF in terms of the CDF of x. Then I want to find out the PDF. So I differentiated it entirely with respect to y. Okay. And then I substituted the value because I already know that x is a standard normal variate. So I'm putting in the PDF of a standard normal variate here. Okay. Now, root pi by 2 fyy will be equal to root pi by 2 into root 2 by pi e to the power of minus y square by 2. So this basically cancels out, and this is left with e to the power of minus y square by 2, which is my answer, which is my first option. IIT JAM 2023, question number 29. Let the probability density function of the continuous random variable x be this. So this is an exponential distribution. I already know what is the mean of an exponential distribution. The mean of an exponential distribution is 1 by lambda. Okay, the mean is 1 by lambda. Now the observed sample values of x are these. What is the maximum likelihood estimator of lambda? So basically x bar, which is the mean, will be 1 by lambda. So you find out the value of lambda, you find out your estimate of lambda, find out x bar is equal to the expectation, which is 1 by lambda, find out the value of lambda. So x bar is basically the mean of all these observations. So the mean of all these observations is 12.5 by 5, which is equal to 2.5. So 2.5, so 2.5 is equal to 1 by lambda. 2.5 is basically 5 by 2 is 1 by lambda, or lambda is equal to 2 by 5. The maximum likelihood estimator is nothing but the product of this. Yes. It will ultimately come out to be the same thing.
IIT JAM 2023, question number 30. So from a set comprising of 10 students which has 4 girls, GI is I is equal to 1 to 4 and 6 boys, BJ is 1 to 6. So basically there are 4 girls, G1, G2, G3, G4. And there are 6 boys, B1, B2, B3, B4, B5 and B6. Okay. A team of 5 students is to be formed. So if a team of 5 students is to be formed from a group of 10, so basically total number of ways of forming a team is 10C5. Okay. The probability that a randomly selected team comprises of 2 girls and 3 boys with at least one of them to be B1 or B2. So probability that 2 girls and 3 boys with either B1 or B2 being a part of the team. Right? So this can be easily written as always minus B1 and B2 both not there in the committee divided by the total number of ways, which is 10C5, which we have already seen here. So now, what is the total number of ways in which I can have a committee of 2 girls and 3 boys? 2 girls and 3 boys minus B1 and B2 is not a part of the committee in the 2 girls and 3 boys. So 2 girls in the 3 boys who are a part of the committee, neither B1 is there nor B2 is there. So neither B1 nor B2 So out of 6, I will remove B1, I will remove B2. So I'll be left with these 4. So these 4, 3 out of these 4 have to be a part of the committee. So minus 4C2 into 4C3 divided by the total is 10C5. Now 4C2 is 6, 6C3 is 20, 4C2 is 6, 4C3 is 4. And 10C5 is what? 10C5. 9 into 8 into 7 into 6 divided by 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. 3 into 2, 6 out. 5 into 4, 10 out, and 8 becomes 4. So this becomes 9 into 4 into 7 is 28. So basically 9 into 20, which is basically 280 minus 28, which is 252. So 252 is my 10C5. So 10C5, I know the value, it's 252. 120 minus 24 divided by 252. 96 divided by 252. Let's cancel out 12, yes, 12 whole. 12, 2s are 24 and 12, 21. 12, 8. So 8 by 21 is what I shall get in terms of the probability. Yes, I have an option. Answer. IIT JAM 2023. Question number 31. Suppose that the utility function U represents a complete transitive and continuous preference relation over all the bundle of n goods. Then select the choices below in which the function also represents the same preference relation. Now, here utility is given from Rn plus to R plus. So the utility value will always be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, it can never be negative. Now, a monotonic transformation of the utility function will be any power of U, where n is any real number which is greater than 0. Greater than 0, not equal to. So we can remove the equality. If n is greater than 0, it will work. Okay. So this is a monotonic transformation. This is the utility function itself, and to the power cube. This is also monotonic transformation. So overall f, which is a summation of two monotonic transformations, will be also representing the same preference relation. B, U is okay, plus summation of xi. Now, the utility function may not be such that each of the xi may not be a monotonic transformation of the utility function itself. Okay, so this is not a monotonic transformation, hence overall this is not a monotonic transformation. Okay, now U to the power of 1 by n. Now, n is obviously a positive quantity, it's the overall bundle of n goods. So n is a positive quantity, to the power of 1 by n, it's something like under root n. This is a monotonic transformation. This is correct. This is not a monotonic transformation. This is a monotonic transformation, but this is again not a monotonic transformation. How can you take square and then to the power of 0.5? This is again not a monotonic transformation. Monotonic transformation of a utility function means leaving the ranking preserved or leaving the ranking unchanged. Now, this will definitely not be contributing as a monotonic transformation. Okay. Just to give you an example, if supposing I know that 2, 3 is preferred over 4, 1. Okay. This can happen if I have a Cobb-Douglas kind of a utility function. 2, 3 is greater than a 4, 1. Okay. It may not work with 2 square plus 3 square. Right. The product is the utility function. So this is not a monotonic transformation. Right. This will in fact not lead to a monotonic transformation. Like for example, for this same example, if I put it here, this will be 2 into 3 plus 2 square plus 3 square to the power 1 by 2. This will be 4 into 1 plus 4 square plus 1 square to the power 1 by 2. Okay. This is 17, this is 13. Okay. Now, you will notice that this quantity will turn out to be greater than this quantity. Okay. You can also take an example with a 5 into 0. Okay. Again, this will turn out to be a greater quantity than this one. Right. Okay. You can take any example like 2, 3 is preferred over a 10, 0 because it's a multiplication. Again, if I put it in this kind of a framework, you'll get that this will be giving me a higher value of n than the 2, 3. So take examples in order to understand this. Take a Cobb-Douglas utility function which will satisfy all these completeness, transitivity, continuity, and then take examples like 2, 3 is preferred over a 10, 0 and then check. In fact, anything, 0, this can be 20, 0, it can be 30, 0, it can be 50, 0. You'll realize that B and D will not be monotonic transformation of this kind of a utility function. Answer is A and C.
To consider a two-agent two-good economy with aggregate endowment of 30 units and 10 units of goodwill. Agent I has utility function UI is max, xi by I, which means that either of the two values, if it is maximum, that is the best outcome. Select the choices below in which the specified allocation of goods is Pareto optimal. Now your max function is best to have 0 of one good and the maximum of the other. So A and B will not be the answer because the utilities can easily be increased by trading X for Y. So having 10 and 30 will be better than 5, 5 and 25, 5 because this is utility 5 and this is utility 10. Same for B is incorrect. C is the maximum possible where X has, agent 1 has 30 of X and agent 2 has 10 of Y, or agent 1 has 10 of Y and agent 2 has 30 of X. So this is the maximum possible. So these two are Pareto optimal where the outcome cannot be bettered. So C and D both are the answers.
IIT JAM 2023 question number 33. In a 3-player game, player 1 can choose either up down, player 2 can choose either left right, and player 3 chooses the two tables. Okay, so let's go into table 1 and table 2 individually first to see what will player 1 and player 2 do in terms of the Nash equilibrium. So for table 1, player 1 plays up, player 2 will play left because 2 is greater than 1. Player 2 will play left, player 1 should play up. So up left is one of the Nash equilibria. Down, left, left up. Okay, right, down, down, left, left up. So it has only one Nash equilibrium. Okay, 3, 2 and 5. 5 is the outcome of player 3. Now let's take a look at table 2. For table 2, what will happen is player 1 plays up, player 2 will play right, right, up. This is the Nash equilibria. Down, 4 is later, down, left, left, down. Okay. Now, which of the following strategy profiles are Nash equilibria? Now, player 3 will now choose which table to go to. Now, if player 3 chooses table 2, player 1 and player 2 down left or up right. Now, if up right happens, then player 3 will choose the table 2 because it is 4, 5, 7. Okay. And if table 2 is chosen, it will be 4, 5, 7. So, 4, 5, 7, this is definitely a Nash equilibria. What about 6, 4, 0? Obviously, 6, 4, 0 has a 0 outcome. So, given 6, 4, 0, player 3 will not choose table 2. Player 3 will choose table 1 because 6, 4, 0 is a lower output. So, player 3 table 2, 6, 4, 0 can be an outcome. And 6, 4, 0 table 2 will not happen. So, this is not a Nash equilibrium. What about here? Here I have only one outcome. So, this has to be the Nash equilibria. Okay. So, 3, 2, 5 and 4, 5, 7 are the strategy profiles that are in the Nash equilibrium. So up left table 1 and up right table 2. So down left table 2 is not a Nash equilibrium. Player 3 comes into the mix. So the answer is A and B.
IIT JAM 2023 question number 34. F be the function which is defined by this. So we need to talk about firstly the continuity at 0, 0. And then we want to find out the partial derivative at 0, 0 with respect to x and with respect to y. तो सबसे पहले continuity के बारे में बात करते हैं. Let's go on the whiteboard. दिया हुआ है that f is equal to x square minus y cube by x square plus y square, x and y not equal to 0, 0, and it is equal to 0 when x, y is equal to 0. Correct? यही है. तो अब continuity का सबसे पहले बात करते हैं. Continuity के लिए what we need to do is we need to find out limit h tends to 0, f of 0 plus h, 0 plus h. ये हमें दे देगा राइट हैंड लिमिट. ओके, राइट हैंड लिमिट को निकालते हैं. h tends to 0, h square minus h cube by h square plus h square. I divide up and down by h square, 1 minus h by 1 plus 1. Okay, तो ये आ जाएगा 1 by 2. Now right hand limit itself is 1 by 2. I don't have to check for the left hand limit because I know that the functional value is 0. So definitely the function is not continuous. ठीक है, ये नंबर 1 हो गया. अब हमें निकालना है fx at 0, 0. fx at 0, 0 is nothing but limit h tends to 0. I am only changing for x. ये तरीका हम लोग बहुत बार कर चुके हैं. DSC में मल्टीपल टाइम्स ऐसा क्वेश्चन आ चुका है. DSC 2019, DSC 2015, DSC 2018 बहुत बार आ चुका है ऐसा टाइप का क्वेश्चन. So this is what my right hand derivative at x is. पहले ये निकाल कर देखते हैं कि partial derivative exist कर रहा है या नहीं. h, 0 minus f00 by h. So h square minus 0 by h square plus 0. f00 value 0 by h. So this will be limit h tends to 0, 1 minus 0 by h. So limit h tends to 0. So this is 1 by 0 format. 1 by 0 format is limit does not exist. तो यहां पर fx at 0 is limit does not exist. ठीक है. अब y का partial derivative निकालेंगे. You do the same thing. Limit h tends to 0. Y is changing. H tends to 0. ये आ जाएगा 0 minus h cube by 0 plus h square minus f00 by h. Okay. यहां पर ये आ जाएगा minus h minus 0 by h. ये आ जाएगा -1. Okay. Now ये -1 है. Now for differentiability, the left hand limit should also be the same. Left hand limit क्या होता है? 0 minus h. Left hand derivative, sorry, ये होगा क्या होगा? 0 minus of minus h cube, which will give me plus h cube. Okay, so this will become limit h tends to 0, h minus 0 by minus h. Again, I'll get the value as -1. So the left hand derivative and the right hand derivative are both the same, and the value is -1. So fy, the partial derivative of f with respect to y at 0, will be -1. The partial derivative of x at 0 is the limit doesn't exist and the function is not continuous. Now, if we know all these, we should be able to mark our answer for this one. So answer is f is not continuous. There is an MSQ question to not continuous, -1, fx does not exist. A, C and D is the answer. For IIT JAM 2023, question number 35, we know alpha is equal to -3, beta is equal to 2, 2x1 plus x2 is equal to 0. Multiple answers can be correct here, so this is correct. Beta minus alpha is equal to 5, this is also correct. Alpha square minus beta square is equal to 5, this is also correct. x1 plus 3x2 is equal to 0. So A, B and C are all correct. Not only A is correct, A, B and C are all correct. Okay.
36, which of the following statements is correct in the context of absolute income hypothesis? Now in absolute income hypothesis, MPC and APC both are constant. So MPC's constant is correct. APC increases is incorrect. As income increases, the APC tends to approach the MPC. So basically, as MPC keeps shifting upwards, APC tends to move towards that. So this is correct. Current saving and saving has no bearing on future consumption. That's correct because it's out of current income. So A, B, D are